Members, I rise to adjourn in the memory of Dr. Ernest Garcia, a community icon, lifelong educator, a patron and participant of the art community in the Inland Empire, and a beloved personal friend of decades. Ernie was from my hometown, Colton. In fact, he was from the segregated South Colton area where I lived also. He came from immigrant parents and lived there with his older siblings starting in the 1930s. At a young age, he was passionate about learning, about teaching, and about art, and these would become his life's calling. After graduating from Colton High School, or Colton Union High School as it was called then, he began his higher education with an associate's degree from San Bernardino Valley College, where he majored in Spanish. His life and service then took an unexpected turn as his college career was interrupted by the Korean War, during which he served as a member of the United States Air Force stationed in Japan. He returned and married his sweetheart, Dorothy, in 1952, and then completed his bachelor's degree from the University of California, Riverside, and he was in one of the first classes, graduating in 1955. He earned his master's degree from the University of Redlands, and finally, his doctorate from UCLA in 1966. As a Trojan myself, I had to take his ribbing about my degree from USC. He used to call it was from the University of South Colton. I always enjoyed introducing him and returning the favor about him being a Bruin. He was so proud of me for pursuing higher education and was a strong supporter and encourager while I was practicing law and also when I ran for office. He was well aware of the statistics and encouraged a multitude of young Latinos and Latinas to pursue higher education. Many professionals attribute their success to his continued encouragement. Dr. Garcia was truly an educational icon in the Inland Empire, where he first taught at an elementary school in Barstow with his wife, Dottie, and then became a vice principal at the age of 26, and later joined schools in Redlands and Rialto. He transitioned into an administrative role with the Rialto Unified School District, where he was responsible for introducing foreign language and gifted and talented education programs. In 1967, Garcia joined the faculty of the Education Department at the region's newest university, Cal State San Bernardino. While teaching at Cal State, he was elected to the Rialto Unified School Board, serving from 1970 to 1979. At that time, he became dean of Cal State San Bernardino's School of Education, retiring in 1990. Educating came naturally to her husband, Dottie would share. He had that urge to really mentor kids to continue their education so they could be a bigger part of society. His impact is so great that he became the first Latino namesake of a school, and we now have the Dr. Ernest Garcia Elementary School in Colton, dedicated in his honor. Dr. Garcia was also honored as an inductee into the San Bernardino Valley College Hall of Fame in 1997, the same year I was inducted. He was passionate and incredibly impactful in the art community. He and Dottie recruited some young artists and together transformed an old building into a cultural arts center, which was named the Garcia Center for the Arts in 2015, and continues to serve as a home for creatives and art organizations in the Inland Empire. He served as the center's volunteer executive director for its first 5 years before retiring in 2020. Ernie loved every part of the arts. He sang in choruses, played the saxophone, danced, and acted. Dottie's description of Ernie sums it up best. He was a proud Mexican-American with a servant's heart and an artist's eye. For years, Ernie served on the board of the National Orange Show. He nominated me to join the board, where I served with him for many years. When he discovered that there were art pieces on the grounds of the 40-acre fairgrounds, he took on the task of gathering the pieces from abandoned buildings, closets, and rafters. He became the curator of the National Orange Show Permanent Art Collection and worked to dedicate a permanent home at a dedicated building to display the art. According to Dottie, he was very appreciative of whatever kind of art anybody came up with, and this is why he'd host art exhibits and welcome local artists. When Dottie and Ernie moved to Redlands, Ernie was quick to tell me that he was so proud that for the first time he'd get to vote for me. I would now be his assembly member. Dr. Ernest Garcia, my friend Ernie, died on April 5th at the age of 93. He is survived by his wife of over 70 years, Dr. Dorothy Garcia, his sons Patrick, Stephen, and Tim, and his grandchildren. Dottie did describe him best: a servant's heart and an artist's eye. He believed in the arts, education, community, but more so, its people. Truly a mild-mannered giant of a man. Dr. Ernest Garcia was a true community icon and had a profound impact on the countless minds that he mentored in education, the arts, and through his work in the community. He will live forever through lives that he has touched. I am fortunate to be one of the lives that he touched, and I'm proud to call him my friend and mentor and would dearly miss him. Members, I ask that you please join me in adjourning in his memory.